Hello, friends, and welcome to our final episode of From the Ground Up, a topic, a 7-week series. Maybe not the final episode, but the final episode of our 7-week series on the Christian worldview. Now, joining us today is my wonderful colleagues, Dr. Shelly Hogan and Dr. Valerie De La Torre from Grand Canyon University. And today we're going to be talking and finishing things up on the mission of God, purpose, and the church. And so I want to start out with Dr. V. Can you explain to us what is the mission of God? What do we mean by the mission of God, and why is that important?
Well, in Orthodox Christianity, we use the term that God is a purposeful God. God isn't just this someone out there in the sky in heaven just sitting around thinking about this and that, but that God has, as we spoke of earlier in an earlier episode, God has attributes, and one of them is love. And as He loves His creation, human beings, there is a reason for our existence. The main one is to glorify God, to worship God, not out of a habit, not out of a have to position, but to simply enjoy the beauty, the presence, the grandeur of God. And not only do we get to have that interaction with God one on one, but that spills over into the rest of the world, our relationships, our lives, and then, of course, God's people, the church.
Excellent. Dr. Shelley, there are a lot of reasons why people seek explanations for why they exist. Can you help us understand how God might give a person a more of a clear purpose for why they exist, or even give them purpose, a vocational purpose, spiritual purpose, whatever that is? Can you just share some insight into that?
Yes, happy to. So we're, ultimately we recognize from, if you remember way back in topics 1 and 2, we are created in the image of God. And he is a purposeful God, so it stands to reason that his creation would be filled with purpose as well. And inside each and every one of us, God has given talents and gifts, spiritual and natural. And we also have this unique dynamic of having different experiences, different opportunities, and all those can really go to build identity and purpose in us. And that so we have desires that God places into our hearts to benefit the kingdom and benefit others, and to collaborate, partnership with him to build his kingdom on the earth. One of the first statements about Jesus, he is Emmanuel. The angel told Joseph he's Emmanuel, God with us. And so he still does that collaborative work, God with us, to build the kingdom on earth, to
Mm.
offer gifts and hope and joy to others, and to share in collaborating in this great experience that we have on earth. And so God gives us opportunity, and he gives us insight, and he gives us ability to live out identity on the earth with him and amongst one another.
Dr. V, would like for you to share and kind of fold in how that understanding of God's purpose can be meaningful and how it relates to the church.
Well, God is a creative God, and just the everyday act of living, enjoying smiles, enjoying the air, the activities that we have are all good things intended for us to live a life that is full of joy. And then the church is a gathered group of God's people, and the mission is to testify of God's activity, God's goodness, God's abundance, God's presence, if you will. And I know a lot of students and a lot of trends these days say, well, I don't need to go to church. I believe in God and that's all good. And I tell them that's absolutely true, but that God has a purpose for us to gather together. People forget that part of our being together is to continue to grow and foster our spiritual life. And you can't do that alone. Just like you can't play baseball with one or two people, or even three or
Mhm.
four, you need the whole team. So the whole church serves as a group that functions not only to serve, to do, to benefit, but also to help us grow spiritually, working things out on committees, working things out in the kitchen, working things out when there's a distress in the church about this decision or that. All part of spiritual life to continue growing our spiritual lives. So there's purpose and mission in all that we do.
Excellent. Dr. Shelley, What would you add to that?
Well, one of the things we have to recognize, because we understand the concept of the Trinity, God has always been in relationship, and Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and He invites us to relationship as well. We become our best selves together, a collaborative effort and a sacred community that grows and expresses love towards God and love towards one another. It is the opportunity and the epitome of fulfilling the great commandment to love the Lord with everything that we are and to love others as we love ourselves. That can't be done in isolation.
Yeah, that is so true. And I've always loved the idea that God, the God of this universe, desires to partner with us
Mm-hmm.
to fulfill his mission. And so
Amen.
he's not just doing the work alone through himself, though he could because he is God, but he actually invites us in to partner with him in his mission. And so in that way, we are co-laborers with God in a way and
That's right.
partners with him in his mission. So I just want to say thank you for partnering with me in this endeavor to share these ideas and concepts with our audience, our friends, our students. And so, friends, I hope that you gained a lot of insight and knowledge from this time. And if you would like more content, please click like and subscribe. Also, and if you have any questions for those who are students of ours, feel free to reach out to us. We are more than happy to share more insight and more resources for you as you grow in your faith and as we endeavor to help you build your faith one step at a time. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Shelly and Dr. V.
Thanks
And
for having us.
we'll see you. Yeah.
It's been
See
a
you
pleasure.
around. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.